99.3 Nigeria Info Lagos. Good morning to you. Welcome to Dailies. Today, the second part. I'm Sheriff Quadry.
And I'm Jimi Disu. Good morning.
You can watch this show on Facebook and on YouTube because we are live right now on Facebook and on YouTube. Feel free to share your thoughts and your comments on those platforms, and we'll take as many as we can this morning. Let's start with the Daily Trust newspaper front page. Miriam Sanders release, worst injustice to us, husband's family.
Yes. The announcement of the announcement of the what do you call it now? The presidential pardon was so upsetting. In terms of the timing, in terms of the content, that it has completely demystified governance in this country, and you wonder where the moral compass of this nation is. In a list of those who you have pardoned, according to what sources say and have been published, you give pardon to 70% of your list are that of drug dealers, which I must be confessed to you did not come as a surprise. The only surprise element was that the government could be so daring and I'm surprised. I wish I was in the inner circle of Brigadier General Buba Marwa to ask him what his reactions were. Of course, he would like to give you a more contained and whatever official statement on that. It just shows, the whole list. It just shows that the moral compass of this country generally, if not checked. Anyway, by the way, I'm surprised that the Nigerian papers did not carry on their front pages, at least the ones that I saw, the event we had yesterday on the cessation of the ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas, and the latest in the crisis there, which is quite significant to the world. So I say congratulations to the world, because had it gone beyond what it was, only I think after the Holocaust it was the most grueling experience the world ever had. So congratulations to the world, and we'll see how it continues to develop. So that aside, back to this. It was very upsetting, and even from my demeanor, you can know that I just said yesterday, where are we as a nation? I heard a guy, what's his name now? Your guest who was when I was away.
Okay.
I think it was with Kofi yesterday.
Oh, okay. All right.
I heard a bit
All
of
right.
it, and I just switched it off. Majid, I just switched it off. My regards to him. Okay. We are getting what we paid for. We cannot say that we didn't know. Whether it matters to us, these things, whether it matters to us, is left for us to decide. We are getting exactly what we paid for, and nobody should come here and say that, oh, we didn't expect Nigeria. That is going to be worse. It's going to be worse, because our attitude to crime in recent developments, what it means to the outside world is that we have a very free attitude to the issue of crime. If we are 70% of those we are releasing, this is not Colombia, are drug dealers, murderers. And so the story here says that, and it's on the front page of the Trust, it says, Mariam Sonda is a lady who killed the convict, murderer, who killed her husband out of jealousy. So it wasn't domestic violence or anything. And her family of the late Biliaminu Ahmed Bello has expressed disappointment over the presidential pardon to Mariam Sonda, who was convicted and sentenced to death for the murder of her husband. In a statement released on Monday, signed by Dr. Bello Haliru Mohammed, on behalf of the family, the relatives of the deceased described the president's decision to grant Sonda clemency as a cruel reopening of healing wounds and a grave injustice to the memory of their loved one. Biliaminu's family said they are deeply hurt by Mariam's release, describing it as an attempt to appease her family while disregarding the lasting anguish inflicted on the victims' relatives, friends, and associates. Mr. Ononuga, the presidential spokesman, had been quoted as saying that, the lady's family approached her and for the benefit of the children. You know, what one opportunity we have to show that crime does not pay, we blew it. And that is putting it mildly. So the family is kicking, understandably so, and so are some of us. Some lawyers have reacted. Lawyers have expressed different opinions on the presidential pardon granted. Ebuka Nweze stated that the power of pardon lies solely with the discretion of a state governor, depending on the case, and does not legally require the consent. Okay, we know that. The moral consequences of how the president exercises that power are for the voting public to decide. These are the issues you would put at the back of your mind if you want your country to go completely degenerate. Because some of the decisions of this current government, decisions that are making without deep thought, decisions, for example, like decisions like that of removing subsidy at the moment of signing in, it reflects something. It's reckless. And it's very, very reckless and doesn't take into consideration all the various factors. I stand to say that no, I don't believe that let me choose my words carefully. I almost committed harakiri with my mouth. But honestly, this decision and some of the people on that list is a reflection of something that I cannot even describe on air. I'm telling you. And I'm trying very, 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 very hard to restrain myself. But good luck to Nigeria. If that's what you want to live with, good luck to you. It's as simple as that. But the lady the woman has not been released. The convict, which is a better word, has not been released. And the prison, they don't call it prison again, Nigerian Correctional Service, said that they have not been served with the list of inmates to be released. That her own, the drug dealers and murderers and so on and so forth, is a very, very, very unfortunate. One of the most unfortunate ones that attention has not been placed on because of this legislation is that of Farouk, a member of the House of Representatives who was found guilty of receiving a bribe. Even though it was a sting operation, he's received it. It looks as if he even put some of the money in his cap. We received it in cash. We would have used that also as an example to show that crime does not pay. But at the end of the day, it shows in Nigeria now that crime pays. It depends on who you want. For example, there are many people languishing in the prisons today of lesser offenses. You don't release that one because these people are connected. Mark you, I think Farouk might have a role to play in the president's campaign that will come up for 2027. There could be a nexus between that. I suspect he might have a role to play. So what you will not blame anybody, including me, for deducing that the president thinks of himself only in things like this. That is the deduction you will make from and generally speaking, it's bad for the morale of the country, but I think that what we have is that there are quite a number of people close up in governance who have a what you call it for crime. They have the temperament for crime. Crime doesn't mean anything to them. And when you hear things like grab it and run away with it, when it itself is stealing, it shouldn't come as a surprise. It's left to us. If this is the way we want to continue to live, so be it.
Gabriel on Facebook says, indeed, some of the decisions of this government have been very reckless without any deep
Very, very
thoughts
reckless.
of its implications.
Very, very reckless. And you see, we can no longer be polite about these things because it affects everybody. Very, very reckless. And even the smaller ones that one complains about and people just wash away is a reflection of something larger. For example, the spokesperson to the president issued a statement that the president congratulated his son. It was in the papers. That's a private affair of the president. But it's with the larger problem we have and all, it means that we are trying to restructure what is called the president or the presidency. Now we want to make the presidency look like a royal family.
Like a monarchy.
Like a monarchy. And this is not going to augur well for our society ultimately, unless we make up our minds that is what we want to do. I have no problem. If majority of us say that's what we want to do, so be it.
That's exactly where I mean, you just nailed my question. When I was following this story online, and I could see that still some Nigerians didn't see what was wrong or is wrong with some of these people that were pardoned. What's the implication of that? Why would anybody not see?
Look, Sheriff, the fact that some people are sitting in elected positions is a reflection of the country we are living in. We should no longer...
It's a reflection.
Yes. Because in other countries, some things that have happened in recent times will not happen. It will not happen. They're making such a big fuss about a minister who can't produce who couldn't produce his certificate and was rigmaroling his spokesperson, which Okebaloye was moving from right to left. Some of your governors who are elected, one said that his certificate was an issue in court. He couldn't say which university he went. Yeah, you voted for these people. So what do you expect? Whether it was rigged, they grabbed and ran away with it. What were you doing when they ran away with it? You did nothing. It is on history in this country. When this same thing was tried in Ondo State way back in 1983, in the case of Omobori Owo, I dared, all of us dared Omobori Owo to show up in Ondo State that he was the governor. But what did we do? We took it, our pastor said it was an act of God, all kinds of things. We gave various excuses. Now we can't complain when things are going like this. The way this country is going, if care is not taken, at the end of 6 years, you will not recognize the country you are living in again. In Nigeria now, it appears as if crime pays. In Nigeria now, all the things we held sacred. A government that came in and just overnight changed your national anthem. These are the little things we were talking about. And some people will say it's hatred, is this, is that. Even those people, check them out properly. At the end of the day, you wouldn't be wrong if you assess that they are some of the same. So I think that for some of us, we have to come to a realization that we are not living in the country that we thought we were living in. But it has consequences in the world. How are you perceived? But the world takes note of all these things. Can you imagine in the various embassies when they do an analysis and discover that 70% of the people you release have had drug-related offenses? But nobody can say, no full-grown adult can say in Nigeria that came as a surprise to him. It's just that we didn't know they were going to be this daring. It didn't come as a surprise to me. I predicted it. Then let's go.
Let's move on to our next story quickly. Away from the trust, let's go to the Guardian newspaper. National Assembly proposes November 2026 for next general elections.
When I saw this news, my heart struck a bit. So all things being equal, if the National Assembly manages to push these reforms through, the election is just exactly almost a year away. Which is good because it means that excuse me. It means that if you elect a president in November, all the legal whatever would have been completely cleared by the time he's sworn in on May. So, in effect, that's not such a bad idea. But I didn't know it was that close.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was that close.
That's about a year.
It's about a year, just a year. And so we are told that the move forms part of the Electoral Act Amendment Bill 2025, aims to allow all election litigations to be concluded before May 29, 2027, swearing in of a new leaders, ending the tradition of pending court cases dragging into a new government's term. While political parties and other stakeholders are pushing for bold electoral reforms, including holding elections in one day, a judge is exploring the use of blockchain technology to enhance the effectiveness of these reforms. Our problems are not the system per se, it's the personnel, the mindset of the personnel. That's where it is. You can use all the technologies in the world, but our problem is not that. Our problem is, excuse me, the mindset, people's perception of what justice is in this country. That's what it is. There was a sentence here, being an Africanist, that I found a bit offending. And it says that the United Kingdom has also expressed the readiness to partner with Nigeria in strengthening its democratic process. At 65? At 65? Shouldn't we be telling some of these nationals that, look, the days are gone? It's because we are the ones who caused it, and we want the governor to partner with us in strengthening our democracy. Can't we handle these things by ourselves? Can't we go back to the basics and do what is within our capacity? The option A4. When I hear things like the one country has decided to partner, have we partnered with any other country in strengthening their own democracy? You see, our leaders themselves don't even have the kind of confidence that you need to move the country forward. At 65 years after independence, you are still having a sentence that reads that the UK has expressed readiness to partner with Nigeria in strengthening its democratic process. What makes we should now start to ask questions. Had we been alone to practice governance the way we wanted it to be, had we not been lumped together and so on and so forth, would we be a better country? Isn't it about time we free ourselves from the shackles of our former colonial masters? But anyway, that is not what we are talking about today. So these highlights are: parties unite for bold electoral reforms, one-day polls, APAC stance on accountability, credibility in reforms. You cannot have accountability and credibility where the people you are dealing with are not accountable and are not credible. We should give and Justice Adile makes case for blockchain tech, and the UK ready to work with Nigeria, said Rowe. The UK should have enough of their own problems. They should leave us to sort out ours.
It's 7:50 Lagos from our studios. We're streaming this show.
I remember a senator one day. You remember when I think it was my cousin, when there was this crisis and he was climbing the gate and there was crisis in the
okay, that one.
Because it belonged to the gate. My good friend, I remember when Bruce was, I remember him saying, I'm going to the American embassy. I'm going to go and tell them about something Nigeria. The people, we have a completely wrong mindset.
That mindset is the problem.
It's the problem. I'm going to the embassy. I want to go and contact what do you want.
Talking about that mindset, how do we begin to rewire? Because I've heard this before.
Yes.
Like it's almost like our minds have been conditioned.
The horse has bolted, Sheriff.
So we can't rewire our minds again.
I'm telling you,
to be completely and truly independent.
The Western world has done a fantastic job on Nigeria. The horse has bolted. Try and look at the kind of thinking you have in a place like Rwanda with Nigeria, or Burkina Faso with Nigeria,
or even Kenya,
with Nigeria. Nigeria is so far behind because You are not putting your first, second, third, fourth 11 forward. You are not putting your first forward. The boys' quarters boys mainly are in the main house. And that reflects the thinking, a beggarly thinking. A thinking of just, let me enrich myself and my family. That is the most important thing. The morals, the kind of a thinking that doesn't even make you feel a self-pride. Anything goes as long as I benefit. Anything goes. A presidential pardon that has 70% is worrying. But what the disposition of this government, Sheriff, sorry, I'll put something on the shoulder.
All right.
The disposition of this government is that we will do what we like, whatever happens. And I know that kind of thinking. That kind of thinking does not make progress for any country or any group of people. A thinking that has a leader saying that it's my turn. So it's my turn means that now that I can do as I wish as long as I'm satisfied. Ask yourself this question, and I want to ask Nigerians, and one day we'll have an open mic for it. Do you think that the leadership of this country has any respect at all for you as an individual, or for a country as a whole?
Any respect?
Does it appear to you that he has any respect? You wake up one morning, a new government says this is the new national anthem, and you all fall in line. It starts from little things like that. And it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. Some of us who even grew under the military government don't feel the pressure that we are feeling now. I'm telling you. Some of us almost believe that we were better respected under the military than we are currently respected now by those who in government now, even under a political dispensation.
Let's take our next story because of time. Varsities shots ASUU rejects FG's no work, no pay policy.
Well, that's the ongoing development. I'm getting tired of this. This ASUU thing has stretched. And to be fair to this government is a problem they met on ground. To be fair to this government is a problem they met on ground. But it still boils down again to attitude. Like I said, the ruling class have taken care of themselves. Their children are abroad at the private universities. And so you keep having this ding-dong, day in, day out. Meanwhile, a lot of our lecturers have moved on. Some of them have moved to the private universities. Some of them have moved to the corporate world because it is no longer an honor to be a teacher. They are not regarded.
An honor.
Forget all the technicalities because it says here, as we can't be intimidated. Federal government says we have met all their whatever. But the minister of the Federal Capital Territory was boasting in another story. I don't know if we can get, and he was saying that they are going to make sure, the policy of this government is to make sure that every judge, for example, they are building houses in Abuja for them, and the houses the ownership will revert back to the judges, and we want to make sure, with a lot of determination, you want to build up the judiciary, but you don't want to do same in the health sector, in the educational sector. That is also as equally important. Don't get me wrong. I am not criticizing the move to make life more tolerable for judges. It's very, very important. But education the same, health the same, other areas the same. You haven't done that. Look at the way we handle our teachers, as if they're a condemned part of our society. And I don't think anybody is looking forward to reward in heaven. They want to get the reward here first.
Why can't they get the reward
here first? So let's go there.
Yes, we have to go now. But it's just this story that I can't drop. Nigerians lament as PMS sells above 900 naira.
Yeah, well.
This is in the Daily Trust as well.
Well.
I had seen a comment earlier.
And there's still no gas.
There's still no gas, yes. People are still queuing up with their gas cylinders to get gas. What an interesting 2025. Everything happening at the same time.
At the same time.
Everything at the same time.
It is us now. That is what that is what in the history of the world, even in the world of miracles, I've not heard that anybody planted sugar cane and went to reap pineapple. I've not.
Yeah, we have to go. Lagos, thank you for watching. We can see the numbers. Thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate it. But we'll be back at 9. Yeah,
I'll be back at 9.
Okay. All right. Kofi is back for the continuation of the Morning Crossfire. Stay with us, please.
Looking for ways to save your data? It starts with your apps. Deleting unused apps.
.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.